So we're officially at our first stop. This is down in Charleston. This is the main headquarters area for 218th MEB, which is actually shared in the same facility as the Citadel down here. So it's a pretty interesting setup for readiness center and stuff. And we're going to go in and check it out and see who we can find, talk to, and learn a little bit about the 218th and what all they do.
All right, so we're currently in the elevator at the 218th, and we're gonna head upstairs and go check out what the 218th MEB does for the state and the history behind it. So this is considered the regimental room, and it's really cool. I've never seen this before at any of the readiness centers, but they have lots of historical facts and items throughout the history of, I guess, what the 218th and the South Carolina National Guard has to offer. They got the 1st Battalion of the 263rd, which we will be going to that armory later on in the week. And they have some other cool artifacts, especially this wall right here. This is all the Medal of Honor recipients through the state of South Carolina. And they also have some field artillery items, which we will also be going to those armories later on this week. And they also have some cool stuff about the engineers. So I guess just come on back and we're going to go find the first person to talk to. Came in to the facility, and I mean, I don't know about him, but I haven't really been here before, especially in a long time. But like, it's cool to see the front area of when you come off the elevator, all like the history of the 218th and the South Carolina National Guard and all that kind of stuff. Could you tell us a little bit about what the 218th does?
So currently, we have 4th Battalion who's deployed to Kuwait. We're getting ready for their demob. It's an infantry battalion, so a lot of times they're deploying to those type of missions, or we're deploying to those type of missions. We have 1st and 118th, who's light infantry, who is getting ready to go to like XCTC, so their drill schedule is pretty hot and heavy right now. We had a Brigade support battalion that we're currently shutting down, so we're transferring out the last of those soldiers, and then our infrastructure for our HHC is changing, so a lot of those transfers are going to the HHC here, so we're going to be getting bigger in that way. But a lot of the times it's I think one of the biggest things that we do, especially for the state of South Carolina, is during the state hurricanes and stuff, like during the hurricanes, during state active duty, we are the largest entity. We take in pretty much 90% of the soldiers and complete about 90% of the missions. So I'd say for the state's benefit, that's one of the largest things that we do here at the Brigade.
So, I mean, it's kind of a unique situation that you guys are housed inside the Citadel Stadium. How is that being a part of the community and working with the Citadel, I guess, in a sense? Like, how is that for you guys here?
Well, it's great, not only for recruiting, but for the area. We have a really good working relationship with not only the River Dogs, which is right down the street, but the Citadel. We have a lot of cadets that come here since we're so close to the Citadel and we're inside of Haygood Stadium. And then not only that, but a lot of the storm efforts come from this area, so we're able to maneuver to a lot of different places. Beaufort going that way, and then Myrtle Beach going upstate. And there's a lot of events that happen here that we get to participate in and volunteer for. For instance, our 68 Whiskeys here do a lot of the CLS for the Citadel. So it's just, there's a lot of unique ties that we have to the community, and they know that we're here. So if they ever need us, they can come, and we've always had a presence here. So it's a good thing.
Could you explain a little bit about what it means to you specifically being here as a soldier in the National Guard and serving the community?
For me, I've always known that I was going to do this. My mom was in the National Guard. Well, first she was active duty, and then we came back from Germany to South Carolina, and she joined the National Guard and then became a recruiter. And so I loved that environment more as a child, and I always knew that I was going to be National Guard. And then I became AGR. But I've been in the 218th MEB since I joined. And it's amazing. It's a family. I have been to other units. I've helped out other brigades, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. The missions that we have, what we're able to accomplish, it's amazing. And the amount of people that we help and the resources that we have, I don't think there's a better place to be.
So we just got through, as you saw, talking to Sergeant Hatfield, one of the medical NCOs that work here at 218 full-time. We shot down to the second floor. Obviously not the history and all that stuff that we saw up on the third floor for the 218th, but this is kind of some of your basic area. This is where recruiting and stuff hangs out on this floor in here. This is a super cool spot. It's very interesting. A lot of hard-working people around here. A lot of stuff that they got going on. But if it seems short, like that we're not covering every little detail of the readiness center and the unit and the people here, it's because we got a lot of them to hit. So we're going to get ready to shut up shop, hit the road, and move to our next readiness center. We're off to the next one. All right, as you can see, we're down in King Street, South Carolina now at the 1052nd Transportation Unit, and they are not our only transportation unit. We also have the 1050th and 1053rd. We were just able to get to the 1052nd today, so we're going to go inside the Readiness Center now, see what we can find, maybe find out a little bit more about the unit and what they do, and yeah, let's head inside.
We were deployed to Iraq in 2004. And that was one of our E6 at the time, Staff Sergeant Jerome Lemon, that actually got hit by a car bomb. So we put that up there as in remembrance of him during this time. And the shell casing here, the casing that we have here, historical purposes, that was when the unit was deployed to the Gulf War back during that time. So these are their things that they brought back home. And the history of the unit, to let you know how much history we have in this unit, this actual belt, the tab on it is gone, but that was from Staff Sergeant Eli Seegers.
Relation to you?
Which was my father.
Oh, okay.
So I joined this unit in 2001. My dad was actually still a part of the unit. And after that, after 33 years, he said, I can't anymore. So he actually retired. So this unit has a lot of historical purpose in this community. This unit actually was once a field artillery unit that actually migrated over here and became transportation. That's why you see the gun on the outside of the armory. I remember correctly from not only my dad and some of the E7 that's in the unit now, those two flags are the flags that went when they went to the Desert Storm and Shield. And the rest of the flags are just flags throughout time as they grow. They change them out. But the significance of that one, that was the one that they brought back to the Desert Storm and the Shield.
Of the 915 A5s with accumulation of the 915 A3s. This is more of the commercialized A5. It's all. They're no more like the old ones, the 915 A1s, where I started at. Everything was just bolted down. There was no air give, there was no nothing. So now it's a whole lot more comfortable for the soldier. But it's a whole lot more safer. They've got larger, more safety features in it. Tell you when you get too close to cars, so you can know to back off, so you won't have as many accidents, soldiers getting hurt. And as you can see the trailers, you can see the difference in the trailers. That's the old A1 trailer, the tan one, and the green one are the newer trailers. They're a lot bigger, a whole lot more safer. But our primary purpose here is transportation. We transport anything from packed goods to vehicles. I think the largest thing I've ever carried on these trailers is a tank. So we transport some of everything. We're doing SAD duty, you know how that goes. We go from transporting water sometime to dry goods or any equipment that the military need us to get to that location to help them fulfill whatever obligations that they have.
So it was a lot of fun stopping at the 1052nd Transportation Company. It was really cool to learn the history of this Readiness Center, but we are now leaving King Street and we are heading to Manning to go check out the 178th Field Artillery. So we are currently at our last location in Manning, South Carolina. We are visiting Battery C, 1st Battalion, the 178th Field Artillery, so let's go inside and check it out.
I believe the original unit started out as a rocket battalion, so it was a multi-launch rocket system, MLRS battalion a long time ago, or it was something along those lines. That's what the patch kind of makes reference to, being right there, is that it's actually a rocket versus like artillery is. Artillery shells don't have fins and they can't change course. They're just a giant bullet like any other bullet, which is of course those reference right there, little cannonballs on the thing. So I've been at Charlie Battery now for a year, just a little over a year. Same as Sergeant Hughes. We're both, well, he used to be in Charlie Battery many moons ago before he transferred and then eventually come back. So if you want to, I've got a couple of rounds that we could take a look at. They're just dummy rounds. They're not actually for training. They're more of like display. But we can go take a look at them and you can see how big they are and how much they weigh, and yeah, kind of show you the facility. So Manning Armory, I want to say, or the Johnson Armory, it's named Johnson Armory, was, I want to say it was originally laid down in 1979, I think. I might be off on my years on that. We can look at the plaque out there and see exactly when they poured the first slab. We did find some old pictures of it. It was kind of interesting. We're cleaning up one of the rooms in here. Yeah, they had originally intended on this to be a much bigger place, but unfortunately they had to do some issues with the back area back here that's still owned, I guess, by the South Carolina, Guard, but we're not permitted to use them. So, yeah. In any case, somewhere along the way, they transferred to a 155 self-propelled Paladin unit, and that's what we've been doing ever since. So here's the rounds themselves, or what we use as display rounds to show people. Obviously, you can tell there's no fuse on them, but this is exactly the size of the round if there was a fuse attached to it as well. These are 100 pounds a piece, so they're light.
Yeah.
Yeah. So and I can kind of move it. But there it is. That's how big it is. And they usually are self-loading. Let's see if we can get it to look. See if I can, without damaging it too much. That's hollow on the inside, so there's no explosives or anything in it. It's just a giant chunk of metal. Yeah. And then when we load it into the howitzer, they look like little blocks of cheese. It's exactly what it looks like, just a cheese wheel, and that's what they call them too. And they load those cheese wheels in behind this round after it's been seated into the howitzer itself. Put those cheese wheels in there and stick a little primer in there and close it. Boom, pull the cord, gun go boom, as they like to say in the field artillery. Yeah, so nice heavy round here displayed. You guys want to try and lift it up, move it around a little bit?
Come on, Baker. You want to go? You want to grab a hold of it and see what it feels like? There you go.
It's heavy.
Oh my god.
It's like, no, take it back. You want to hold it?
Yeah,
give it a shot?
I'll give it a shot. Here
It's substantial.
Oh yeah, that's sturdy right there, boy. No doubt. I was
You
thinking
make me look like a wimp.
I think he was joking at first because like he just snatched those 100 pounds, wham, jerked it out. I was like, doesn't look like 100 pounds from over here.
Well, I'm sweating under here right now, completely.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, thankfully we have loading systems that these are on that are loaded with hydraulics and electric motors that, we could load them by hand, but
Yeah.
So he's got actual paper or a news article here we have that shows when the groundbreaking for the ceremony was for this armory specifically. Thursday, April 14th, coming up on the birthday, 1994. So that's pretty cool. And then here you can see that picture, and that's that house that's still out there, out in front. Solid green uniforms. Look at that. Yeah, and so go through here and you can see there's some, who knows who these, I don't recognize any of the dignitaries that were making the first dig there. I know the battery's been around, longer than that, but it was down in the Georgetown area.
So there we go. We just wrapped up the first day, and I think what we've seen here is, you see people at these units who are part of the fabric of the Guard. They have a heritage here. They have a sense of pride of these units, and I think the more we do this, just in this first day, I've kind of realized that, I originally kind of struck out just to kind of look at the units, but really what you find out is it's the people. It's the people that have the pride that make up these units, that are part of our community and the fabric of the South Carolina National Guard and South Carolina as a whole. So I'm just super energized for the rest of the week on this. Columbia tomorrow, and then on up through the rest of the upstate from there. So we'll catch you back first thing in the morning.